Hi everyone, and you're welcome to another episode of your Lawyer's Corner with Mo. On today's episode, we'll be talking about next of kin. Next of kin. And to discuss with me in the studio is no other person but Mr. Ismaila Adegoke Aliyu. Mr. Aliyu, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, ma. It's my pleasure to be here.
You're welcome, and we are glad that we invited you and you are here on the show. Thank you so much. Now, to the business of the day. Who is a next of kin?
Yes, to start with, a next of kin is a common word, or let me say terms, which we usually see on daily basis, probably when we go to financial institution or banks.
Okay.
They will told us to fill a form, and inside the form we'll find out that there's a place for next of kin. So in ordinary parlance, next of kin means person that is closest to the declarant, or the person who is the relative, closest relative. So that will be the first point of contact. So when there is any eventuality or emergencies.
Wow.
So that's a next of kin.
That's a very brilliant and coincides explanation of who a next of kin is. Thank you. Whether next of kin has legal capacity to manage an estate of a deceased. Does a next of kin has a legal capacity to manage the estate of a deceased?
Yes, there is this misconception about next of kin.
Okay.
So people most times thought whenever you are appointed as the next of kin, you have the capacity,
automatic ticket
to manage the estate of a person when that person dies intestate without leaving a will. Or probably even if that person leaves a will, some people would think the next of kin will be the person to administer the will. So which that is not the true position of the law.
Okay.
So a next of kin has no legal capacity to deal with the property or estate of a person when that person dies, whether with a will or without a will. So a next of kin does not have any legal capacity
at all.
It does not have any legal capacity. So in case a next of kin administer estate of a deceased person, or probably act without being appointed as the administrator of the estate of the deceased. So whenever there is an issue of death, so that person will be acting contrary to the law.
Wow.
So, and that would be, it will be, in legal parlance we call it executor de son tort. So that person is just acting on his own.
On his own.
Without any power, without any capacity. And whatever that person does is
null and void.
A nullity.
Thank you so much, sir. Will the next of kin automatically inherit the property of a deceased?
Yes, yes. You see, that's one of the most misconceptions about next of kins. So usually when we go to financial institutions and all those things, when the ordinary people want to feel, they will believe that most person they appointed as the next of kin will be the person to inherit them. So, and that's not true.
That's not the true position.
That's not true at all. So a next of kin will only have that power only if after the death of the person who appoints him, he applies for a letter of administration.
Okay.
So, and he is duly appointed as one of the administrators. That's only, but without that, so he will have no any power to deal with the property of the deceased person.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Aliyu. Do you mean a next of kin is not superior to the beneficiaries named in a will?
Yes, you see, as I said earlier, a next of kin has no any legal capacity. So when a person made a will before his death, so it is the will that will be executed. And once that person is not named in the will as one of the beneficiaries, so he has no any power to benefit from the property of the deceased person. So, however, if that person is named as one of the beneficiaries, so he will also have his own share of the property. So that means he is neither superior nor inferior to the beneficiary. He will only take the portion of the share given to him according to the will. So that's the position
of the law.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that explanation. What is now the essence of being a next of kin if they are exempted from doing this or that?
Yes, you see, the major reason why is because of eventuality and emergencies. So, and that is why it is divine, according to Black Law Dictionary, as a nearest kindred to the declarant.
Okay.
So, any person who has the ability to make decision on behalf of the person appointing him, or any person who has the capacity to take a steps. So in the absence of that person, for instance, there is breakdown of law, there is fire breakout.
Okay.
So the first point of contacted is the next of kin. So, or probably there is for instance, in case of accident. So usually when we are on transit too, we will be told to write the name of next of kin. So, and that's one of the important. So the person they can always contact that can manage the situation at that moment.
It might not even necessarily be a family member. But that's one thing most people don't even know.
Yes, it does not really necessarily be, but someone who is very close to the person, so that he can take some actions. So at the expense of the appointer. For instance, maybe the person had to undergo a surgery in a hospital. So they will call his next of kin
to come and sign
for him or her. So that's the essence of having.
It must be somebody that has brain, that will not say, are you sure this?
It must be someone that is really matured.
Yes, that's the word.
That is really matured enough to
take over the
current situation of
things and manage it well.
Very well.
You have heard it from Mr. Aliyu that a next of kin must not necessarily be your brother or your sister, but a very close person to you, someone that can manage situation very well on your behalf in case of eventuality, accident or emergencies.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aliyu. Your last word on the show, sir.
My last word will be that if you are appointed as a next of kin, and at the point of death of the person who appoints you, you want to administer his or her property, you need to apply through the probate registry to be appointed as one of the administrators of the estate of that person. That is, if that person doesn't make a will. So, and if that person is making a will for those who appointed next of kin, but they don't really know the implication. So when they are making their will, they must always put that person, next of kin, as one of the beneficiary or the administrator of their will. So it is very important. So
thank you so much, Mr. Aliyu, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate your coming, and we do hope that when next we call on you, you would oblige us.
It is my pleasure.
Yeah, from the crew of your Lawyer's Corner with Mo, we have this token of appreciation for your coming to the show, and we do hope that you take it with love.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this, and I pray God Almighty will continue to uplift your Lawyer's Corners and uplift the moderator, Mrs. Emo Esquire.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of your Lawyer's Corner with Mo. Like I usually say, don't just get mad, get a lawyer. Do have a lovely day. Bye.